We in Camden right now, going to check out my guy, Anthony Mancake's Ways. He's one of my mentors growing up. I had Dame fly in. We're gonna go to my high school and to my elementary school and talk to some of the kids, talk to them about like entrepreneurship. Really just going hard on the mentoring, being the mentor that I didn't have growing up. Well, I did have a mentor, but like a lot of the times my mentors was guys that was like outside in the streets. And I feel like now that, you know, being able to go and travel the world doing fashion design, I want to come back into the city where I'm from and cities like where I'm from and talk to the kids and lay out a roadmap for them so they don't make some of the same mistakes that we did. I contact the principal of the high school I went to. I contact the principal of the middle school I went to. I contact the principal of the elementary school I went to. I contact the mayor of Camden. I contact the councilman. And I contact everybody I know, like, yeah, I'm bringing Dame to Camden. They like, let's do it. Within 24 hours, I booked flights, I booked hotels. Dame is coming to Camden.
Because of fear and the patterns that have been, drilled into our head, most people just don't dream. And that's where it has to start. Now, if you don't see visuals of good things happening within our culture, us sticking together, us running things, then as a child, you don't know that it can happen. You have to see those visuals. So in entertainment, what do we see? Us fighting each other or us getting abused? But we never see us winning. So we have to actually stop the content that we're making. And because we're not in control of making the content, and I know this personally, the only things that get green-lighted is where there's a lane in the pocket to monetize with is negativity within our culture and our dysfunction.
When you look at like a Campbell Soup or the hospitals over there, the Subaru building, most of the people who work there, they don't live in Camden. They end up leaving outside of Camden. So we can look at them and we can villainize them like you come here, you work here, but then you don't want to be here, but there's no Whole Foods here. Like he said, he's diabetic. I eat Whole Foods, I eat vegan, I eat raw vegan sometimes. Like I like to eat the right thing. You know what I'm saying? So getting the right food here and building a community, but then it's like, how do we make the neighborhood feel safe and feel like a place where you can live a meaningful life? Like if I make 60,000 a year, 80,000 a year, 100,000 a year, I want to be entertained by the things surrounding me. So when we go into like the community development aspect of it, you need things like Art Walk. Because like Art Walk, what Art Walk does is it bridges the gap between the young artist who's struggling and the CEO of Subaru, right, who needs something on the walls in his house, and they can now have a conversation. And then that CEO who's afraid of that child because of what he looked like now realize like, man, this is a kid, and what he's doing is amazing, and it bridges the gap in communities. That's why when you look at the art district, what is it, Wynwood in Miami, once the art district is there, that's when you start to see that gap get bridged. My name is SHERON. I'm from Camden, New Jersey. I grew up in Pollock, or I guess the Whitman Park section. But I'm from Pollock, Chase Street, and I've always had like a desire to start my own business and to design products that other people will wear. But I think what I wanted to ask is, who in here wants to be like a millionaire? It's so many things you could do with your life. It's so many things you can aspire to be. But a lot of the times, the list of things that get put in front of us are so limited. It may be like, delivery person, nurse, police officer, probation officer. Everybody in here can do anything that they put their mind to. It's so many different industries and so many things that you could do. You just gotta kind of like, just open the world up and really look at what's going on. Like getting a job making $30 an hour, $40 an hour is a great job. But for my mom, she was like, you're a genius, you can do anything. And I believed it. Camden is one of those places, if you know about it, you know about it, but most people don't take time out of their schedule to come in and really touch the inner city and touch the lives of people and go into the schools and talk to the students, and it can have so much impact. And when a person is an impactful individual and they come into certain environments and they allow people to see them, touch them, and interact with them, it changes the trajectory of their lives altogether. For me, to be able to have one of my childhood heroes come to the city that raised me is a defining moment, is also a moment of fruition and realization. Like I grew up watching everything Dame Dash did, like studying the blueprint for how he started Rockefeller Records, studying the blueprint for how he created Rockaware, studying the blueprint for how he was creating these films and signing these different artists. Like, a lot of people don't realize the impact that Dame has had on popular culture. This is the guy that started the record label that Jay-Z was a part of. This is the man who signed Kanye West. So to have him come to not only my elementary school, but my high school, and introduce him to one of my mentors from when I was a young man, can't nobody tell me nothing about Dame. He the realest one so far.
My intention is for the urban communities to be able to bring other communities, other cultures other than our own, but for us to be the landlords. We need to be owning the bricks that everyone is creating it.
How do we better our generation and our grandchildren, our children's children? How do we make the wealth better for them and then our community worthy of not only, people coming and using our talent for the benefit of themselves and their families, but we using our talent for ourselves and the benefit of our community.
So this is a man who's been locked up. This is a man who was locked up for 17 years for a murder that he didn't commit. His neighborhood wasn't able to save him from that. When the police came and took him away for something that he didn't do, his mother couldn't stop that. His father couldn't stop that. His friends couldn't stop that from happening. He was abducted by the government for something that he didn't do. And most people, after experiencing something like that, they would have gave up on life, but he pushed through it. He was ultimately found not guilty and got a second chance at life. And when he did that, he didn't come back vindictive. He didn't come back and say, F everybody, nobody was there for me when I wasn't there. He came back, and now his whole life is dedicated to helping others, preventing other people from being persecuted in that way, but also giving children different paths and creating safe spaces for different groups of people. So I think that level of philanthropy has to be celebrated. He's just an amazing person. So what Anthony has is a 70,000 square foot facility, and they focus on arts. They focus on dance, filmmaking, music recording, podcasting, just all forms of creative arts. And there's a safe space for the kids where they can come there and learn and work for free. It's open pretty much all day, every day. And it's not just for the students or the children. Like, it's people in there that's 30, 40 years old learning to do graphic design and learning to do film editing. For me, I was telling Cakes, like, yo, I want to, like, I have a crib here that I don't live in, right? But I'm like, I want to make that crib nice and start living in it. But then there's issues like, I'm like, yo, where's the Whole Foods at? Where's the Trader Joe's at? Where's the spot where we could go kick it after this and sit outside and eat a steak on the sidewalk?
You gotta have your luxuries of life.
Right. So as entrepreneurs in here and creatives, we got to start to imagine what those spaces look like and utilize our resource to start building them. Like, it's abandoned, it's space. We don't have to go to Cherry Hill to do nice stuff. We can make nice businesses. Like, my thing is, I'm not going to Philly to buy a vegan cheesesteak. If it's a vegan cheesesteak spot on Mount Ephraim, that's good. I'm going to grab that. So we have to become the change. Like, if you want to live in a certain type of neighborhood, you got to build your house to look how you want your ideal house to look. Then the neighbor like, well, shit, he gonna do his yard, I'm gonna do my yard. Then it's like, if we both gonna do the yard, they need to come, then the government come, they fix the sidewalk up, then they fix the street up. Then you be like, yo, we just want a spot where we could chill on the weekends. I ain't going to clubs, I ain't going to lounges. It's like, I want to go up there, drink a glass of wine, I want to sit outside when it's warm out, and I want it to be like an art walk. And we was there in love and spreading that love and positivity to the community, and he's seen the kids playing, and it's a beautiful thing, you know? And that's going to change the community. We're now activating things in the community. We're working to put an art walk program on Mount Ephraim Avenue, which is the main corridor where I'm from. We already own a ton of real estate in the Camden section, but now we're working with the mayor, we're working with city officials to really build out this vision. And I'm bringing in entrepreneurs from all over the country to create business anchors in Camden to create better living environments for the people in the city.
But that's what being an entrepreneur is. It's that you gotta be uncomfortable with timing issues, and also with not ever being able to look at no bread, but you gotta have cash flow. But it's also about never panicking, to know that it's gonna get rough. I mean, it's really easy if we stick together. It's really easy, and it's really good when people have different specialties because you're staying in your own lane.
Again, life-changing experience to have those two guys on the stage together, chopping it up about life and what we need to do as a people and how to grow in love and different things like that. Like, for me, I'm in the products, right? Like, I love product development, like process. So if you look around this room, like, a lot of people want to do music and art, but if you look around this room, the floorboards, his pants, the dog collar, the lights, the boards, the curtains, all of these things are products. And before they were here, they were just an idea. So that the light didn't exist. Someone had an idea for the light. It just popped in their head. The paint for the floor. A person was like, it would be cool if they had paint for a floor. And then they start figuring out the chemical process to make paint that you could walk on, right? Now that person is some kind of chemical engineer. But the person who developed the paint that's on this floor, I guarantee you he's a millionaire. The person who makes these curtains for these stages, I guarantee you he's a millionaire. Everything starts as an idea. You take that idea, you imagine it, and then you figure out the process to bring it into the world. Somebody in here has an idea for something that could change the world. The thing is, like, how do we get that idea out into the physical world? Do they need to sketch it? Do they need to talk about it? Do they need to sculpt it, mold it, make a 3D mold of it in a computer? But we need to hear those ideas. That's why he's saying dream big. How can we change the world? You walk around the street, the fire hydrants are old, they beat up. What's the next fire hydrant look like? What's a fire hydrant look like 50 years from now? You gotta actually close your eyes and imagine the future that you wanna live in. And when you start to imagine that perfect future, like when you think about Steve Jobs and the iPhone, he had a vision. You have to create the visions for every product. Then you come to the realization you don't always need money. Yeah. So money is used to obtain a resource, but sometimes money is a tool to barter, right? So let's say I'm hungry. If you're hungry, you're like, I need money to buy food. But you don't always need money to buy food. You could grow food. But that concept has been removed from us. So a lot of the times we don't realize that we could grow our food. So we think we have to make money to do food. So because you need money to get food, how do you get money? By working. Yeah. So then you work to get money so you could buy food. But if you wanted, you could just grow food. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like that with everything. So once you realize that, you can start to remove that median. Sometimes you don't always need money to build your dream out. You could build a dream without money. Everybody around you is an asset. If he's working on a movie, if you're a cameraman, if he an actor, if he a screenwriter, if you're a producer, y'all can all work together and not nobody put money in, y'all can split the pie. You said we're gonna do this together, we're gonna sell it, and then we're gonna share the money. You don't need money to do it. Now, if I was coming in and I had money, I could just pay everybody to do the job. But if you don't have money, you gotta find creative ways to bring people together. So that was probably the hardest struggle because I always felt like I needed money. It was like a lot of the times we wait to get a certain amount of money to do what we wanna do. And there's no need to wait for the money to do what you want to do. You just start doing it and you find creative ways to do it without money because eventually once y'all do that, y'all five come together and you're doing it, somebody's gonna come and be like, man, I got some money. Let me put some money up. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just another resource. Like a lot of the times when you see a successful person, whatever they may have that you equate to success is the illusion that they just obtained it through like one accomplishment. But usually, if I'm trying to win at something, I can lose 999 times. On the 1,000th time, if I win and I win big, then I'm a winner, right? So as you shoot till you win. And every day is a new struggle. Like you can't really define it by one obstacle. Every day as a businessman, every day is an obstacle. You may build the dream studio and you come in one day and there's a leak and it hit the equipment and you're dealing with that. So I think the struggle is what defines you, and when you keep pushing is what makes it a success story. Without struggle, there's no success at the end.